All right, hey, this is Unger again. This is the third explained video. Today's video is going to be on triads. We're going to talk about 4 basic triads that you use in just about everything you're going to do. So these are the foundation for all our basic harmony that we deal with, and we'll get into much further things on down the road with chord extensions and sus chords and all kinds of stuff like that, but we're going to deal with 4 basic ones today. How to categorize those by your ear. Lastly, we'll talk about how to memorize them pretty quickly and how to adjust them and make them into all the different possibilities of different chord types that you can have. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys that have been doing that. Leave some comments and let me know what you guys would like to see in some other upcoming videos and what you liked or didn't like that I could do better in the other videos. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, to start with, before we can build these triads just basically mean a 3-note chord. And we have 4 different types that we're going to talk about today. We're going to have major, minor, diminished, and augmented. All right, well, we're going to start with the major triad. The major triad is kind of the foundation of all of that, and we changed that particular one to get the other triads. But we have to understand the major scale, and because that's where your triads come from. So if we're going to build a major triad, we're going to build it from a major scale, and that's kind of our starting spot. So we'll start with C major, because C major is nice and comfortable because there's no sharps or flats. We're going to take the first note, the third note, and the 5th note of that scale. So if we're in C major, the notes of a C major scale are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then we're back to C again. There's no sharps or flats in that particular major scale. That's the only one that has no sharps or flats. If you don't understand scales, I look at the first explained video and we talk about the chromatic scale and how to build major scales in that one. So that'll help you get a grasp on that. And then we'll talk about intervals on the second one. And this one we're talking about triads. So go back and look at those and that'll help you understand this one a little bit better. All right, so we're back to the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. So if I play a C major scale, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1 or 8, the octave. So if I go 1, that's C, D, E. That's my 3rd. So C, D, E. 1, 2, 3. So I've got C, I got E, and then 4, 5, which is F going to G. So 1, 3, 5. So C, E, G. All right. All right. So that's the notes of a C major triad, C, E, and G. So pretty simple. Now I'm going to show you a little set that we're going to use to talk about. This is C, E, and G also. So anywhere where you play those 3 notes together, it's a C chord. So when we play your good old-fashioned open position C major chord, it's all made up of only C, E's, and G's. So this is a C here on the 5th string. This is E. The open string is G. The first finger is C. And then the first string open is E. So C, E, G, C, E. All right? So even though I'm playing 5 strings, I'm only playing 3 different notes. So if I play that, this is a C major because it's got C, G, C, and E again. I can play the C chord here. C, G, C, E, G, and C. So anywhere where those notes are at, it's a C major chord. But we're going to break it down into smaller pieces to kind of help us kind of see it and hear it a little bit better. So if I'm on the top 3 strings here, this is C, E, and G. 1, 3, and 5. So that's the sound of a C major triad. And major triads sound happy. So, you know, right? So now, The next thing is we're going to make this minor. So if we go to make this major triad minor, we want to memorize some formulas. So we know that 1, 3, and 5 gives us the C major triad. But if we need a minor triad, we're going to take the third note, the E, and we're going to lower it down 1 fret. And we're going to make the C, E to C to E flat. And we're going to keep the G. So it's a 1, flat 3, 5. So 1, flat 3, and 5. As opposed to the 1, regular 3, major 3, and 5. So that's major, happy, C, E, G, 1, 3, 5. Minor is 1, flat 3, 5. So C, E flat, G. Now this is your sad sounding chord. All right? That's how I kind of memorize it. All right? Now next, we have our diminished triad. Now a diminished triad has a flat 3 also, but it also has a flat 5. So we have 1, flat 3, and we're going to take the 5th here, the G, and we're going to flat it as well. We're going to make it a G flat. So we have 1, flat 3, flat 5, which is C, E flat, and G flat. All right, so that is our diminished triad. Now this is our dastardly deed chord, is how I like to put it. It makes the black and white films where the guy ties the damsel in distress up on the railroad tracks. You always hear that music. All right, whatever works for you. All right, so then we have one more triad that we're going to deal with, and that's the augmented triad. Your augmented triad has a 1, 3 like the major triad, but the 5 is sharp. So we got 1, 3, sharp 5. So we have C, E, and we're going to take the G, the 5, and we're going to raise it up 1 fret to G sharp, and we get this. All right, C, E, and G sharp. Now this is kind of like your Lost in Space or fantasy sounding triad, okay? That's how I remember those basic triads. So that's our 4 basic ones. Major, 1, 3, 5. Minor, 1, flat 3, 5. Diminished, 1, flat 3, flat 5. And then augmented, 1, 3, sharp 5. So that's our 4 basic triads. Okay, so how are we going to memorize all these triads? Well, I've got kind of a little trick that I've done over the years that helps me kind of memorize it. So I start with the natural notes, so as root notes. So I do a triad, I memorize the A triad, I memorize the B triad, the C triad, so on and so forth. I memorize all those major triads first. So A major, B major, C major, D major, E major, F major, and G major. And so, and you always know that they're a third apart, so every 3 letters is going to be that note. So A, B, C, D, E. All right, so every third note is going to give you what your letter is going to be. If I'm in B, B, C, D, E, F. So it's going to be some kind of version of that. C, D, E, F, G, so on and so forth all the way through. Now, so I start with each of the natural root notes, and then what I do is I find this little trick. There's 3 of them, there's 3 of them that have a sharp in the middle. So if I know that those letters are there, and then I know that that one in the middle is sharp, then that is easy one to remember. For instance, A major is A, C sharp, and E. So that one's in the middle. So there's 2 more of those. A has A, C sharp, and E. And then we have E, G sharp, and B. And then we also have D, F sharp, and A. So those 3 have a sharp in the middle. A, C sharp in the middle, E. And then we have D, D, F sharp in the middle, A. And then we have E, E, G sharp in the middle, and B. So those have the sharps in the middle, so A, D, and E. Then we have 3 that have no sharps, and that would be C major, F major, and G major. So C major is C, E, and G. And F is F, A, and C. And then we have G, G, B, and D. And you can also help yourself memorize these by just trying to find little acronyms or how they, you know, things to spell out words like CEG's keg, or, you know, GBD, great big dummy, whatever works for you, right? So that's something that'll help you. Now, there's only one that has two sharps, and that's your B triad. So B, obviously the root note isn't sharp, so the other two are. So B, D sharp, and F sharp. So we have that one that has two sharps. So three with no sharps at all, that would be C major, F major, and G major. The ones with the middle sharps, which would be A and D and E, and then one that has two sharps, which would be B. B has the D sharp and the F sharp in it. So that gets you kind of like a starting place with that. So let's say I'm going to find a D major triad. So I know that D, F sharp, and A. So D, F sharp, and A, right? Now if I take that, and then I need to make that minor, I'm going to take this F sharp, and I'm going to lower that and get D, F, and A. So that gives me my minor one. And then if I need to make that diminished, then I'll lower the fifth as well, right? So now that's not a very comfortable way to play the chord. That's just so you can visually see it better. There's some good chord voicings that you can learn, and we'll get into that a little bit later. We're just kind of get into the idea of understanding what they are, finding some basic little shapes, and why your major chords and your minor chords and stuff are the way they are. All right, so that gives us all the how to create major, minor, diminished, and augmented from natural notes. Now, let's say we need an A flat major chord, right? All right, so if we have A flat and we find the root note A, the natural note, root note A, which would be A, and we know that that one has a sharp in the middle, A, C sharp, and E, and we need to make that A flat. So if we take the root note, the tonic here, A, and move it to A flat, to get that as our new tonic, or root note, then we take and we lower, if we lower the root note, we're going to lower everything else in it. So you just flat everything there. So if A becomes A flat, then C sharp becomes C. And then E becomes E flat. So our A flat triad is A flat, C, and E flat. And we got that from knowing that the A major triad is A, C sharp, and E. So A, C sharp, E. Lower everything down a half step to A flat, to C natural, to E flat. And so once that's there, then you can do the same approach that you did with the other triads, you know, trying to come up with diminished, augmented, and all of that. So once you have that root note, you have the major triad with whatever particular root note that you're looking for, then you can do that. So for instance, let's take F sharp major. So F major, we'll start there, has F, A, and C. That's one that has no sharps, right? So we have F, A, and C, and then we take that and we have F, we need F sharp major. So if F is getting sharp, everything in that triad will be sharped. So F becomes F sharp, A becomes A sharp, and C becomes C sharp. And so then that gives us our F sharp major triad, F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp, as opposed to the F natural, F, A, and C. So that's how that goes. F, A, C, all right, or if I make that, I sharp the F, I sharp the A, and I sharp the C, so it goes, basically everything moves up. F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, and that's how that goes, and that's how you want to think of that. All right, so if you enjoy that, please give me a like, subscribe, and share the video. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I hope that you all do really well with these videos. And please leave some comments and let me know what you would like to see and how I could possibly make these videos better. All right, so you guys take care, and we'll see you next time.